Thank you. Thank you, Plex. Hi, man. Finally, some company on the stream. Thanks, bro. Thank you very much. I'm working it almost, I don't know, month and a half. It was commission work for a client in which I had to do only this. So, just a sec. Yeah. So this chassis, as you see right now, was a coupe of a Ford 34 Legend. So I had to make it into sedan version, which is this part at the back, and the rest of the car is entirely from scratch, built by myself for my portfolio. So yeah, yesterday I finished the pedals, the steering wheel. Had some difficulty with this one, but learned how to do it. Never done it before. This was done previously. The model is yet not like the materials on the model are not yet applied, so that will be further once I finish everything, which is to complete this engine, the head of the engine. Then I have the rest of the engine, which is here it is. So this is the rest of the engine. Then the car frame, and then finally the tires, which and this part as well. So on both sides there are lots of unsorted stuff like these, which I have to finish. And then I plan on creating some livery, like you can see in here on the references. Thank you very much. I don't know, I mean, for me, I will say the same for myself. It's very hard to do organic surface, organic modeling like characters, albeit I've done the Dark Knight like, I don't know, 7 years ago, but I wouldn't say myself, I wouldn't consider myself as anything substantially good enough for organic surfaces. I cannot do it. I cannot wrap my mind around it, how they work around all that geometry, because it's so creative, whereas this, for example, with hard surface, you're literally following blueprints. How many years you model cars now, or hard surface in general? Well, I began since 2016, and ever since I started learning 3D, I was into cars. So I also worked for 3 years on race room racing experience simulation, developing that AAA standard as 3D engineer, developing race cars for them on site here in our country. But afterwards, mainly freelance. So yeah, well, it sounds impressive, definitely, but they weren't paying any good, I can tell you that. I'm probably not supposed to say that, and in any case, it was great experience. A lot of great artists there that I met, and the experience I took from there is probably the thing I'll cherish the most. Definitely, definitely learned a lot. Yeah. Thanks for coming in, man. It's this is why I mainly started doing streaming. I am an amateur when it comes to streaming. I just began like 5 days ago. So yeah, my goal is exactly this. I hope to get to meet fellow 3D artists along the way. so we can have a chat, learn from each other. If that happens, that would be great. So yeah, thank you for coming in, and you're welcome to ask anything. If I can help you, I'll gladly do it. Right now, I'm trying to, you see these, which I have separated, these welds on the engine. I'm trying to separate them, and then I will have to normalize them like this. Actually, on the whole UV space, rather like this. So in this UV space of 1, it will come in as seamless texture of welding, where I will apply it so it looks like really, you know, welded in that sense. So there is still a lot to go. Yeah. I'm trying to read your comment. Give me just a sec, please. So gatekeeping is still such a big topic in our community. UV and wrapping, this engine sounds like hell to me. It sounds like hell to me as well, trust me. But I just get probably that the motivation is for myself right now too big, that I have to do it. I want to do it. I've done it for for clients, you know. So I want to do it now for myself, so I can put it out on the portfolio. And yeah, when you love what you do, it's, I think, easy. So in that sense, that's why, yeah, I will see it through eventually, I hope. I mean, it has to be, it has to go through and be done with it, you know. Eventually, it's not. I don't believe that there is anything like impossible thing. If we, you know, if you put your mind to it and you work towards a goal, you will achieve it. Yeah, absolutely. I do that. But I'll tell you what. Right now, for example, because I'm still new into streaming, and today I've been setting up the stream entirely different. So if you check the videos from yesterday, they were different. So now I have objects put through Streamlabs where I can share only these softwares that you see right now on the stream, which means I cannot show you the Google, you know, my ArtStation. So if you check on my profile right now, there is a link from ArtStation where you can see some of the works I did. Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, if you do that, you will see some samples of mine. But otherwise, yes, I do that as well. But yeah, still learning. I consider myself still learning, because there is a lot to learn, especially in 3D industry. And yeah, again, I mean, thank you for the questions, thank you for coming in. I love this. So yeah, it's fun. Thank you very much. It's very much appreciated. And I don't know, I'm just striving to make it even better. So that's why, yeah. For example, right now here, you can see from this angle, the normals are not so fine. So what you do in this case, for example, thank you very much. Yeah, the metal slug, that was just recently that I did. So here there are a lot of normals now that are breaking apart. So what you do is usually like this, deleting one mesh. If you work in Maya, it works. You delete one mesh, you breach connection, and despite using the set to face control, which tends to reset the normals of the model, it won't work. So you have to delete the face and then reconnect. No, I simply don't know. I began 3D modeling with Maya in an academy called M3DS Academy here in Macedonia. So I stuck with it, basically doing game design. Plasticity, just recently I started with it. And what you mentioned is more about true creation of a car, where they would use um, these NURBS. It is how originally cars are designed. So that will be quite different. It's entirely different workflow than this. So that's why. But I'm contemplating on that, to somehow, to try it eventually in the future. But we'll see. We'll see. Still far from that. Now here, I believe there can be smarter ways of doing this geometry, just like that. Instead, cut on the polys, faces actually, wireframe. Yeah. In which software do you work? Since you asked that, I suppose probably Fusion or Plasticity. But on the contrary, Plasticity and Fusion would offer you much cleaner topology than what I'm doing right now. But again, I don't think they can be compared since Plasticity is working with NURBS, Fusion the same, and they will have to be on those models that you will provide. You will be able to create with those softwares. You will have to do retopology on them, so they can be used into any game. Not that I'm building this for a game, but yeah, that's cool. I have a friend who is great with lighting, and probably what you do is what he does as well. Um, for example, we would model anything, and he will take it and make it beautiful. So yeah, I suppose that's yeah, Cinema 4D's Octane as well. One of those that I haven't used ever. So my idea is to basically stream every day until I finish this model, which I hope will be, I don't know, by the end of this week, I hope. So, and I'll wait all of these. I'm not happy with it, so I just separate it. I'll just once again separate it just to be sure. These two are identical, so I'll just leave it like that. I'm not happy with the topology. We can select the face from here easier, delete it like that. Then I'll just delete, yeah, this part. Then I'll separate these two, and I'll leave one of these just so I can have as a reference of where I should overlap it, mirror it later on. Now I'll try to figure out how to do some of the texturing geometry on this one first, and then I'll continue. No, on this one, no, because from the very beginning, I had all of that in mind. So the geometry is by no means heavy. On the wheel, on the chassis itself of the car, actually it can be even lowered. A lot of unnecessary geometry on the top. on the back, and towards this front in here. But I wasn't really mindful, of that, because first of all, the project scope and how it began was entirely different. Now it's on myself that I'm taking it, with the creativity process wherever and however I see it fit. And a lot of the geometry is with the rest of the car. For example, the wheels. I mean, not the wheels, but if I take out the wheels, there is everything in here of the suspension, the frame, like I've said, of the car, these details, these parts in here, which not necessarily are,
How are we doing today?
quite low poly. Hi. Hello. Hi, Eric. Someone. Eric. Eric, hello.
How's it going, man?
I'm streaming, just to let you know that you can be heard on a stream. If that's not okay, I will shut it down.
No, go ahead.
Yes,
I'm
seriously?
I'm just going to be working on. I got to work on a client project here, so I
Oh,
got a
that's
full
so
day
cool.
ahead of me.
That's so cool. I was talking to a guy who just came on the stream. We are talking about this what I'm doing right now. He's on lighting director.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We were just talking about what I'm doing right now. I started streaming just 5 days ago. Lately, I've been hearing a lot of podcasts and going across all of them. Encountered several artists who have said that they have learned a lot through streaming. So I was like, I'm doing this for 10 hours a day. Why don't I not start myself? It can be fun. So
Yeah.
Here I am.
I'm gonna be starting a I'm gonna be starting a Patreon and doing some of the same stuff. I should have done it years ago, but I just, when I'm working, I need to focus and I get distracted. So
Yeah.
hey, check this out, man. This is gonna be half scale. It's gonna be huge, and I just finished engineering the model. I didn't sculpt the character, but I had to make a lot of corrections to the character. Most of the work I did was the base, the cape. I modified the face. I modified the hands. So, yeah, man, just craziness.
You're doing characters, right?
I build everything. It doesn't matter to me. I build everything.
That's awesome. That's interesting, because I am like that. I can still say I am like that. That I do mostly everything, and even characters, albeit I don't like them. Although I'm not very good with them, but I've done them. Recently, I was doing some medical animations for a client from Germany. But yeah, so now I'm trying to specialize, in one area, which is I love cars. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's the one thing I don't like. I will build. Well, I had to teach it, and one of the guys that I worked with, he was really pushy about doing cars, and I'm like, I don't like it, I don't enjoy it, I don't want to do it. And he made it very, very hard on me, and I was sort of like, come on, man, I'll do something else. Let me do something else, because the tools were pretty rudimentary, back then. But yeah, cars are cool. It's just not something I want to deal with.
yeah. Just to answer to one of the people on the chat, regarding the character I did for the medical company from Germany that I just mentioned, they were doing something regarding the abdominal area of the human. No idea what it was. I have no clue. I don't have any medical knowledge in that sense. So just something, how to say, not so serious, so to say. Yeah, now, Eric, I'm kind of on, two seats sitting right now, talking here and there, but I guess it's.
Hey man, if it's as long as you're getting work done,
I'll tell you what. I mean, if I wasn't streaming and uh, lately, I feel like I got not pissed off, but really fed up with all potential clients lost and won. And I'm like, I have to specialize in one thing, which is, like I said, the cars. So if it wasn't probably for the streaming part, I wouldn't be able, like not able, but the mentality wouldn't be quite right there like it is right now, where I will sit on hours, for hours, so to finish this.
Yeah.
But right now
No, I
it's
get that.
interesting.
I get that. Because I want to make so many different things, and because I've worked in every arena, I've worked in every environment. Um, I feel comfortable building anything. I just need to know what it looks like, you know.
Yeah,
And
that
it's weird. It's weird like that, man. Because I could specialize in cars if I was really passionate about it, but it's never really been an interest of mine. In fact,
understandable.
yeah, a lot of what I really like is characters, environments, hard surface, ships, props. One of the last pieces I did for film was I worked on some helmets. So to me, it's to me being able to do all those things is pretty transferable. I don't know why I just don't like cars. Maybe it's because cars are unbelievably complicated.
That's interesting that you say that because I mean I'm discussing this with friends who are on the same chat we are right now. Some of them have the same opinion, and we discussed this. Like, I'm curious about it. So, is it about some mental limitation, or some perception? Because if you ask me, they're quite simple. You have blueprint, and you're following the blueprint. Whereas if someone gives me a character, the character can be all these kinds of things. So, because I was video editor like 10, 15 years ago, I was trying also to get clients with video editing. So as video editor, you have some idea on how the video should go, and then you send it to the client and they're unhappy. They have some other idea on how it should be done. But when you have specifics like the car is this, it cannot be anything different. Mercedes is a Mercedes. So they give you that, you do it. There is no gray area in that sense, and that's why it's quite easy for me, probably.
I think that it's the reverse of that. And so what it is that when I build the car, I have to think about, okay, I'm going to make it very simple. Cars are extremely rigid. It is either the right
Yeah.
car or it is not the right car. And so if I build the outer facade, the outer shell, that's fine, no big deal. But then I also have to build the suspension, and I have to build all the little components that go into that, and then I have to build the engine housing and the camshafts and the, you know, the
Yeah, everything
drive
that goes
shaft
with it.
and the muffler and like all the parts. And it's like eventually it's just like, when will this project end? You know?
It's pretty much what I'm doing right now because I've done something similar for a client, and I was super proud with what I have achieved. They had one car which has been raced once in Le Mans. I'm sure you know what Le Mans is.
I used to follow. I don't follow it anymore because, well, it's not on television anymore. But I used to follow Top Gear.
Yeah, yeah, a lovely show, lovely show. I've watched them twice. So this car has been raced in Le Mans by one of the drivers has been at the time F1 driver. This is a car from the '88. So they give me this car to make it fully authentic with signatures of the drivers being on the car and things like this. So
Yep.
being paid and everything that motivates as well, surely. So I did the car to the best of my capabilities, and with what I achieved, I was quite happy with it. And I cannot share it because due to NDA. And I'm like, crap, I have to do this the same for myself now. So now that's where I am.
Yeah, I get that.
I can see. Are you actually standing or you're sitting? Because it seems like you're standing.
I'm standing up. So my desk, I can raise and lower this desk.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Just like a friend of mine, because myself as well. Last year, before I went skiing, I had back issue. I was sitting very lousy on on the chair, so I developed some kind of thing. I don't know. I have no idea. For someone who does sports like myself, it was quite weird. But anyway, so this friend of mine got the same desk like you have, and he was like, "Why don't you get the same? You stand, and it's much better, and so on." So now I'm looking at you, and I'm thinking you have the same, the same.
I bought the platform, but I built the tabletop. And this is big. It's big.
Yeah,
It's 6 feet by 3 feet.
but it's cool. I want to do the same, honestly.
Yeah. I almost wish it was. I wish it was a little bit deeper. I wish I had made it so it was 4 feet deep. But it's fine. Maybe when hopefully this year with all the projects that I'm doing, I'll be able to refurbish this space because I want to put a hardwood floor in and finish the walls off so it doesn't look so much like a basement. But I may build a new tabletop for this desk because the motorized frame lifts 300 pounds.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, so I could easily make it. I can easily make it deeper, and that would help me out a little bit because my setup is I've got 2 book stands here that are staggered, so one's above the other one. I've got secondary monitor, primary monitor, and then my computer. And this whole side of the desk is useless. Like it's just a place to put junk. But if I had another foot added onto it this way, or even another 6 inches, that might help. And what I'll probably do too is, depending on how things go, I'll get a table and I'll make sure that all the cables are extra long, and I'll have the computer on another table off to the side from everything else.
That's cool. Sounds like
But
a
most
plan.
of the time the tables are short. I'm sorry, what?
That sounds like a plan. Like you
Yeah.
have already set up everything, and so eventually, you know how they say it will be achieved. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
nice.
The only thing is I can't stand all day because I'm doing this. I'm shifting my weight between my legs. I'm going back and forth. I
Understood.
can't stand all day. I can stand for a couple of hours, then I need to sit down.
But that's
I'd like
good.
to also, yeah, I'd like to get it. There's a it's called, I think it's called like a saddle chair, and it's not built like a traditional chair, but I'd like to get like a saddle chair stool situation so that I'm standing or I'm up out of a chair for longer. But I don't want to damage my knees or mess up anything. But when I'm tired, man, yeah, it doesn't matter whether I'm standing or sitting. I've got to fucking take a break.
Yeah, it makes sense. I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess too much of anything is not good, right? So in that sense,
Well,
also sitting in
well-
a lot of time is not good. So
Well, I don't know, man. You know, you can never have enough cheese.
yeah, you can never have enough cheese. I love cheese.
I just cut myself 2 big pieces of um, mozzarella as a snack.
Mozzarella.
So
Past year we were in Italy, myself and my girlfriend, and we were so looking forward to trying the Italian food and everything. But we had some stomach virus that we got here from meat due to during a barbecue party and something like that. So we couldn't try anything. And I remember sitting in a restaurant eating boiled potatoes while everyone else is, trying all these kinds of cheese and whatnot, salami, you know.
that is a very sad thing.
Yeah, it was. It was.
You got to get more people in here.
Where? On Discord or the group that you sent me?
On Discord. On Discord.
Uh, it's only you and me right now. Or
I know. I know.
no, in that case, I did not got your question or what you said actually.
No. I was saying you need to get more people.
Oh, well,
in.
It's free for everyone. Whoever wants to come, it's welcomed. I don't. So.
Yeah.
If they're not here, they're not.
If they're not here, they're. Yeah. No, I understand.
I mean, in any case, I don't think anyone is missing out on anything. But it's nice to. Just a sec. Sorry, man. This guy has written me, and I wasn't reading at it. Man, my portfolio would be so huge if NDA didn't exist. Where's the link for the Discord? Plexi creates how to send him the link for Discord. Just a sec, man. Okay, 10 windows in here. Then I cannot. Just a sec. I think I'll find it. So now I have to. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so Eric, back to you, man. Sorry for that.
No, you look at. Hey, look at. You don't have anything to be sorry for. You're having a conversation. You're streaming. You're doing things.
Okay.
Just keep doing it. Okay. Just keep doing it. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. No problem. I mean, it's like to me, this is like kind of normal. You know, I'm almost always in a Discord when I'm working because I like to be around other artists while I'm working on stuff.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
You know. Yeah.
I love skiing, and I'm skiing. I'm 35 now, and why I'm saying this, I have a point, which is I'm skiing for 25 years, and whenever someone asks me, "Oh, or says actually, "Oh, you're a great skier. You ski for that many years," I always say, "I always learn," because you cannot ever get comfortable because it can be dangerous. Depends where you go, right? So more or less, I wouldn't say it's the same with 3D. I wouldn't like to go that philosophical about it, but you have to learn. You have to, move forward, learn new things. I can learn from you, So obviously, and that sense, I love that. So.
Good thing I've learned everything.
Sorry?
I said, good thing I've learned everything. You know that was a joke, right?
Even if it's not, I mean, who's to say, right? I mean, I'll tell you right now, I want to learn Blender because I have no clue.
No, not Blender.
Yeah, because I see a lot of people do crazy stuff. I have some animations that I am quite aware that if I do them in Maya, it would take me like probably a week. And there is a guy says, "Oh, I can do this in an hour," and I'm like, "How?" And then he does this with modifiers and whatnot. And I'm not saying it's easy, it takes skill and everything, but it's definitely the process of it's simpler. So for the sake of it, and for the sake of knowledge and learning, why not? I'm like, I want to try it. So.
Right on. Yeah, see, I'm trying to skip Blender and go right to Unreal, because I think Unreal is much more what I need for my work and what I do and what I care about. I'd rather not be using I'd rather not use Blender.
For a client that I had that I won back in 2019, they were from US, developing over, I don't know, 2,000 assets in Blender, modifying something like that. and they needed them prepared for Blender. And at the time, I had no clue how to do that, but I figured like, why don't do them in Maya and then just do the materials in Blender? And it was quite easy. So by doing so, I learned quite a lot. But still, the modeling in Blender like escapes me. I cannot get my mind around it, how to work it out. Uh, Probably I'm too used to Maya.
You know what? I know how you feel because I felt the same way when I started learning ZBrush, and now I build everything in ZBrush because, well, as a model maker, as a modeler, it's just the better tool all around.
Yeah,
I would not.
ZBrush is stunning.
Yeah.
The things you can do with it. Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty amazing at times.
that's another software which I'm not good at. I have used it several
Well,
times.
I'm doing a demonstration on the 8th, which is basically just an intro to ZBrush. Here, I'll get you a link.
Yeah,
I don't know
feel
if
free to.
you'll. Here. Copy. I don't know if you'll want to share it with anybody, but I'll put it in the side chat here.
If you want me to, I will definitely. I can.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I mean, we've got 105 people signed up for it. It's basically, you know, how to get started with ZBrush, you know, what you need to understand, you know, all the stuff that I
Yeah.
teach on a regular basis, but it's gonna be specialized for people that are new to this, that have never used the software before.
Understood. Uh, like.
But yeah, if you wanna come out, man, I'd love to have you. You know, I mean, it's free. I want to get more people interested in using the software for more things. I'm going to show. First, I'm going to show some models in the beginning, so we can so everybody can start showing up, and then I'm gonna show the interface, show how to get started with it, show what people need to know. Then I'm going to start. I'm going to do navigation. I'm going to show where menus and hotkeys are and how to use them and how they should be thought about. I'm going to go through all that stuff. That's going to be a lot. And then I'm going to show some kit bashing stuff, and I'm going to explain some Z modeler stuff, and I'm going to explain just some basic parameters of like quick renders and stuff. But really, I'm going to try to avoid a lot of that stuff. And then we'll spend the rest of the time answering questions. And I'm going to tell people, you know, bring your give me a second, I need to know the name. Bring your OBS studio and record it for yourself, you know, record it on your system, and that way you can watch it again, and you know, just get started there. And that's what the plan is anyway. But yeah, I put the link in the chat. We're gonna do it off of Patrick's server, so yeah.
That's great. That's great. Feel free to, obviously. There are some guys in here who are quite new and everything, so I'm sure they will be quite interested in it. This group actually started out as initially we were 5 guys doing 3D, but with time they have kind of moved elsewhere, not in sense of Discord, but with works. One started doing programming, other websites. We branched out basically. So I decided on having this channel for the sake of potential clients in the future, where I would contact with people through any platforms where I might find clients. So instead sending links, you know, this and that, I would just rather send them Discord and they would join. But it wasn't very effective. So because as you would know, some CEO won't bother, you know, to join on Discord, so it was a bad idea. But regardless, with time,
it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea at all. The problem is that most of our clients are not computer savvy. In fact, most of our clients are kind of they're like our parents trying to figure out how to use a fucking smartphone.
Exactly.
I've got a client right now who says that his assistant handles this shit. And I'm like,
yeah,
unacceptable. I need to talk to you. You know?
Understood. I can understand that.
I was given this. Discord by somebody. I don't remember who said that you sometimes hire freelancers, and I was like, oh, he should know that I'm a model maker and that I've worked in the scenic industry and that I've worked in film and I've worked in games and I've worked in toys, collectibles, and action figures. So that's why I jumped in here a couple of times, to try and hang out, work, talk to you for a little bit. I'm not necessarily saying, hey, give me a job. I've got this project in front of me and I've got another one lined up. But that's what I do, man. I make things. In fact, I mean,
Yeah.
do you ever play Half-Life 2 or Half-Life Alex?
Sorry, what? Which? Who do I know?
Half-Life. Did you ever play Half-Life?
I think so. If I got that correct, I think so. I'm not sure, but okay. If you show it to me, maybe.
One of the monsters in it is called a head crab.
Okay.
It gets on a person and it turns them into a zombie.
Okay.
I'm making a life-size head crab.
That's going to be printable, right? Something like for.
Well, I'm not gonna print it. I'm gonna have it cut out of foam. I'm gonna send it off to a company that cuts it out of a polymer CNC, and we're gonna turn it into. We're gonna do a life-size head crab based off of my sculpt, and I've already done this. I've already done most of the sculpting, but somebody said, hey, if the head crab goes over really, really well, you should do a life-size head crab zombie. And I'm like, you know what? I should. So that's actually going to be some of the projects that I do this year. So, yeah, I'm all about making stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But I want to make more. I want to make more stuff.
I don't know who it was. Once it gave me an like proposal of why don't you do just sales? And I'm like, no, I love what I do, and
That sounds like a I don't know how to say this nicely, but that sounds like somebody wishing you death.
yeah, not necessarily, but they have an agency, so they don't know me obviously, and they just were like, okay, why don't you do this and that? Nothing against that in the sense of thank you for the opportunity, I appreciate it, and for the recognition and everything. But if I do that and I take and this creativity is taken out, I don't know if I would be able to do that. Just that I'm not interested in that. This what I'm doing right now. No one pays me to do it. I do it because I love it. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get paid to do what I do. I'd be very unhappy if someone took it away from me.
No, in the sense that right now on what I'm doing, nobody pays me for this. But initially, for example, this project began for a client, was a commission work for a client who owns this car and is going to race with this car. So I was tasked with creating a sedan version of the same car for the sake of production and creating a livery of his car. So it was an epic project that I loved doing. It was great pleasure. Myself being a sim racer for 25 years, raced Max Verstappen, for example, twice on online virtually. So I'm quite in that how to say not area, but okay, for lack of better word anyway. I was happy to work with it, and now, which is why I'm taking it to a next level for my own sake, to have it for portfolio. But as it is right now, it's not paid. It's all done for my purposes. But I do have some projects, like obviously they are paid. Right now there should be one project working on one highly developed car with all the details that you mentioned previously, for the same company that previously did the detailed car. And until that project comes in, I want to just spend time and do as much as I can with mine. So
yeah,
I
no, I get that.
I tend to jump from one to another posts, where they say you should never do work for free, and I'm like, who does work for free? Even if you're a beginner, you shouldn't, right? You should like respect yourself in that sense that if you know what you do and you've done things and you're skillful and so on, yeah, you get my.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I'm talking too much.
Nah.
I'd love the opportunity to, to try Blender or ZBrush on the classes you shared. So definitely I give it a go.
Well, if you get a chance, pick it up and learn it. It's pretty amazing. But it's not for everybody. I know a lot of people who could use it and could apply it, but it's not for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, like I've said, give me a character and I'll be stuck with it. I will have no idea what to do.
See, to me, that's ah, man, I love characters too much, man. I love it.
I mean, obviously I haven't. We just got in contact a few days ago. You have our station, right?
Yeah, but I don't have hardly anything on it. My
Just
My Instagram doesn't have much on it either, but it's attached to my profile. So if you click on my profile, you can just go to my Instagram.
yeah, I would really love to hear your thoughts on what I've done with this character. It initially began like 7 years ago, something like that. It was due to a course, during a course that we were doing in the academy where I was studying 3D, and they told me like, don't do it. It's too complicated for you right now. I was just 3-4 months when I began the initial phase, and then later years onwards, I completed it fully. So just if you can give a quick glance and just let me know your initial like bit,
I see a lot of things that
shouldn't be done.
bother me about it, but here's the thing. Based on what you're telling me about when you did this, it's pretty solid. I think the thing that's most like the mouth situation is one of those things that bothers me a lot. There's also the knee pads look weird, and then the hands look really weird because they're not in proportion with the body, and they look like they're cubes. Um, but other than that, man, there's nothing really. there's a lot of things I see here that are really pretty good because they basically show off the model pretty well. Yeah, the hands, the whole everything below the shoulders or the chest is pretty rough. Uh, yeah, those hands, the thighs, the calves, the feet, the back of the model, the small of the back. A lot of that stuff is wonky, and his proportions are a little weird too. The model I'm working on it's not mine. Somebody else made that Thor. I've made corrections, but even my model, this model here, the proportions are really messed up. Um, I will say,
Thank you, man, for that. Honestly, because it will give me an idea on what to improve in the future.
yeah, I would say this, man. You know, Dush. Is it Dush?
Uh,
Dushko?
Dushko, yeah,
Dushko.
yeah.
Dushko. I would if you were my student, I would tell you get a solid anatomical figure. It doesn't have to be fully detailed or anything like that, but use that as your base because if you're just going to be an armorer, like somebody who makes armor,
Yep.
then you have to build that stuff to the body. And if you fail to build it to the body, what's going to end up happening is that the armor will look weird because the foundation structure, which is the body, is
Yeah,
going to
that makes sense.
offset all these things poorly. And some of the design choices you made, like I really hate the elbows, I really hate the knees, I really hate the shoes, and the gloves in particular. Like those things look like they weren't really planned out, or you've never seen a hand, or you've never seen an elbow guard. Like, let me grab you some. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hopefully, I can find this really quick. Here we go. I keep these because I actually use these when I'm doing certain types of work around the yard. But these are hockey knee guards.
That's
and
cool.
Even has a piece of gravel in it. But the hard shell is bolted to a pad, which is then sewn into another pad. And I've got look at you see this? Can you see this lip here?
Yeah.
I've got a lip in here, which is another pad, and then it's segmented. So this pad is segmented, and this pad is segmented.
Understood.
And then it's all wrapped in a jacket, and then it has an elastic on the back, and it has straps on it as well. I undid the strap and put it back on.
When you have it like that, when you have it like that in your hand, I mean, you can understand much better how it's supposed to work, and hence do it better.
Right, and also it's if this is, even though this is going on my knee, if I were to, I could use this on my elbow, but it's supposed to be for your knee. I could use this on my elbow because it has the same set of structures to protect the bone there, and its profile is very unique to how we contact the ground. And there's a rule in construction called protect yourself from the ground. It basically means buy good shoes, buy good knee pads, buy good elbow pads or gloves. Whatever if you have to come in contact with the ground, make sure you have the item that's going to protect you from the ground, because the ground doesn't have any feelings and it will beat the crap out of you.
Yeah.
And that's unbelievably true in what we're talking about and in the world in general. So to me, when I look at your model and I see the I'm going to use my words, but I'm not. This is nothing personal. This is work.
No. Don't be like. Yeah, I can take it.
Right. To me it says it's a failure of design and it's a failure of research. Which means that you didn't go far enough into understanding.
Absolutely, that's correct. Because I had only one reference, and I just took that one, and I was sticking with that because I couldn't find, for some reason, obviously that's the Dark Knight from Christopher Nolan, and I believe it's from the second part. So
well, I'm gonna show you something here. Have you ever heard of a piece of software called PureRef?
Yeah, I'm using it right now.
Okay. So I have. This is a client job. I'm going to show you this. This is the absolute simplest style sheet I have ever made in my entire life. Most of my style sheets are much more complicated. I was told by the client that the actress is going to be a 17th century pirate. So I had to go look up what period of time this character was supposed to be in, and so on and so forth. They gave me this horrible illustration. Okay. And they told me that this woman here is the reference for the character, i.e. the actress, right? I was like, okay, fine. I started doing some digging on costumes. Here's the hat. Here's the jacket. Here's the boots. Here's the pistol, which it's got a different name. And then here's a reference for a sword. All of these things are dictates for me, and once I have them approved by the client, I don't have to guess, and I can just go and build the thing. And that to me is the minimal research. I actually usually double or triple the amount of research I do for a given project, and I may have to add to this because there are things that I'm seeing on the character now, like for instance, whatever this piece of jewelry is. And also, I'm going to have to get some hair reference to finish the model. I've already started this model, and the character's clothing is all blocked out. The character's face and proportions are all built and set. Mostly, I'm just building all the paraphernalia and her costume that go with her. So
Yeah.
to me, if you were to do Batman again, I would build something like this out, and then I would isolate parts. Like, so for instance, if gloves, if you're going to have the character in the beauty shot doing this, or holding or holding a set of batarangs
Yeah.
or weapons, I would make sure that these are 100% on point, because the size of the hand to the head is, and the weapon size and all the proportions are really important. This stuff is true in every object that we make, whether it's cars, weapons,
Yeah.
props,
The scale is
characters,
very important.
buildings. Yeah, the Batman is technically sound. You, I didn't see anything about topology that scared me. You managed to do relatively good, pretty good skin textures. You did pretty good armor textures. The lighting was a little too dark because you weren't able to see the silhouette of the character, um, which is fine in some regards. But if you were showing it to me as a potential employer, like me employing you, I would be very worried that you weren't showing the silhouette or the character. You were trying to hide things.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, the successes that you had with it, they're technical successes and they're necessary. But I would tell you, hey man, come back in a year, or you know what, build me 4 characters in 6 months, and we can have another conversation.
Yeah.
But I would hammer you about proportions. I'd be like, get those fucking proportions right. I know you know how to do topology, but get those proportions right.
Yeah. It's very important. I mean, and that's one of the things for which you have to have an eye. You know, a feeling, a sense, an experience. So yeah.
Partially. I mean, I do a lot of measurements. I mean, for instance, the corners of the mouth should line up with the pupils. The corners of the nose should line up with the corner of the eye. The head is divided into so many parts. The widest part of the skull is the parietal bones.
Yeah.
The widest part of the face is the zygomatic arch. You know, if you measure from the leading the bottom of the chin here, not the under here, right here. You measure from here to here. It should be it's in a good measurement is 8, and then from the back of the head to the front of the head is 8, and then from the widest part should be 6. So 8 by 8 by 6 is a really good measurement for the skull, for the head. Once you know all that stuff, it's just bing bang boom. You're just
Yeah.
putting the parts in place. And there are details and there are things that need to be considered, but if you have good reference, if you're paying attention to measurements and placement, it just kind of builds itself. You know, you're just there facilitating.
Yeah. It makes sense. I mean,
It's
basically.
the only upside is that there's a little bit of wiggle room. You don't have to be as rigid as a car or a prop. But you know, a lot of times, you know, if we took your car, or if we took a gun or a prop or any other thing, and we measured it to the real thing, there's going to be millimeters off here and there and another place. But a lot of times for film and games and toys and whatever, it doesn't affect it too much. But yeah, man.
For the Batman,
Yeah,
for example, I had only, like I said, one reference, and I was trying to, to stick to it. And this is something that happens with all the models I ever did, and I'm sure you had the same experience. For some reason, the one of the sides of the references won't ever be a match. And at first, it gave me struggle. I continuously, thought that I'm wrong. I'm not doing it right. And then what I did was took a mechanical part, like a car. So a car is equally, symmetrical on the other side as well, and a good, resolution of the reference added, and so on. And for some reason, regardless, the model will never be like entirely symmetrical on the other side. I'm saying if you mirror it, the model, it's not going to be symmetrical and following the blueprint. So in any case, I had this only one blueprint of the Batman, and I was just trying to follow it. And
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't really on, like you said yourself. There are a bit weird proportions to it, but I just couldn't really wrap my mind around it, and I just went with it to make it as I saw it fit. And then definitely I played it with the renderings being dark, being Batman and moves in the shadows. So that was that. But in any case,
Yeah,
it was much worse.
I would say to you that I'm going to say to you that a lot of times, let me put it this way: whenever I talk to someone who's practicing, I sometimes say student, but someone who's practicing, it's best to know where your failings are as quickly as possible. And also, when I talk to really young students and they make excuses for their work, I always try and tell them, hey man, don't ever make excuses for your work. Just say yes and move on.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: is that you've done good work, but if I don't say to you, hey man, there's something wrong with those shoes. They don't look anything like any type of shoe a human being would wear, right? Um, you should be, if the instructor is good, or if the teacher is good, or if the client is good in explaining that, they're gonna say, well, it should be thin at the toe, but then it should get thicker moving towards the ankles. The metal metatarsals, the long bones of the foot, they angle up to meet the ankle. So you kind of have to you kind of have to address that. I think that a lot of people are not used to thinking about it as a job and as a I'm here to make a thing. They think about it as this is my baby, and this is precious, you know.
Yeah.
And that's going to make it very hard for you to work in the industry. Not you
Yeah.
specifically, but you as in people in general. It's even hard for me, dude. A lot of times when I get a client talking to me about stuff, they either don't they don't listen very well, and also their commentary is almost always not in line with what I need from them. Like for instance, I sent a project off to a client and I said, "Hey, I've made adjustments to the head per your request. Does this head match up with what you want it to be?" And the response I got was, "Hey, where's the hair? Well, have you taken care of the hair and this and that and the other thing?" And I want to just be like, "Motherfucker, I need you to check off the thing that I sent you, because that's the thing I worked on."
Yeah.
And that's really infuriating. But a lot of these guys, a lot of clients who don't work in the industry,
They won't understand ever.
no, they're poor communicators about. I have done the thing that you asked me to do. Can you please approve it so that I can move on to the thing that you're asking me about right now? Because if you don't do that, then I'm confused about how to move forward or how to proceed.
I feel you.
Because I can only work on one thing at a time.
I feel you entirely. On that
But-
part, I can talk for days, because I have great share of clients who never understood a thing, despite most sincere efforts to explain what's happening and how it works. I mean, I'll tell you just this, and we can laugh about it. Recently, I was developing a robot for a
Yep.
client who was about to produce this robot for real, in real
Yeah.
world, and he wants design visualized of the robot itself, and he asks me whether an AI would be sufficient, and I'm like, no, AI will be useless because we can only see the design you want to make, but I don't have any dimensions of the robot you want to build. I don't have any proportions of the anatomical aspects that you just mentioned, of shoulders, thighs, this and that, all the technicalities. And despite that, he just sent me an AI generated image of the robot that he wants to build, and he says, I want this. I'm like, okay, that's the design, but what about the dimensions of the robot? How do you want me to make it? Otherwise, if I don't have those information,
Yep.
information, and still he's not responding, and it came to a halt where I had to push it a bit and say like, okay, I understand maybe that this is due to NDA, you cannot share those informations. You know, I thought he's an engineer, he might not be able to share those. And I stepped back in the sense of, who am I to push for things? I'm just a freelancer from Upwork that they required, and they don't necessarily think highly of me, right? So I stepped back. I was like, okay, whatever you want, I will do it. And then I sent them the character, and he's entirely confused why the model is not entirely made. And I told him, I knew that what I'm going to send you is not going to be of any use for you. So what I did instead is just spend an amount of hours on the character that I thought it would be sufficient for you to see what I'll be able to do and whether you will be able to use it or not. So although I had my best intentions, you know, not to rip him off with, I don't know, hundreds of hours, which he would have had to pay in it by any means. So he took it the other way. Like, I did a bad job and all those things that come with it, and it was a disaster. And how would you communicate with such such person? You're not able. He doesn't understand. It's pointless. So that was that. I mean,
Yeah, that's kind of unacceptable, and I'm sorry that that happened to you.
yeah, it happens. It's all experience.
My business partner and I have been trying to figure out how to create a course for people like that to communicate with artists, because he works in film, but part of the big problem is that this isn't something that only happens to freelancers. It seems to happen to everybody who's a creative, because the clients are completely unaware of what it takes to make a thing, you know?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna take a break. I might even get some lunch. It was a lot of fun talking to you, man.
Likewise.
Give me a shout whenever. Yeah.
Likewise, whenever you want to, you're welcomed. It was great to talk to you, and yeah, I mean.
Oh, real quick, take
Yeah.
a screen grab of this.
Sorry.
I want you to take a screen grab of something.
Yeah.
Screen capture.
I'm watching it.
I want you to look up this book.
Okay.
And when you look up this book, see if you can find a YouTube flip through. Somebody will have flipped through the book.
Okay.
If you ever want to get back into characters, this book might be useful. It's not the only anatomy book I have. It's just the one that. It's one of a couple of books that I recommend to people who need to know more about anatomy, and that one's kind of one of my favorites right now.
I am in a process of gathering books and literature about 3D. So, I'm buying like books. So
if you ever want to talk books, bookshelf. I have most of the best books that are out there, but they're, I keep an eye on things, and I can recommend a lot of stuff that's valuable in the future.
That's really impressive. Thank you very much, Eric, for the compliments and for the critique. It will be very much implemented in the future, definitely.
You clearly have some skills. As far as characters are concerned, you just gotta refine a few things, and you'll be fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Catch you later.
Have fun. Take care. Have a nice lunch, and talk to you next time.
Yep.
Rather sooner, I hope.
Yeah. All right.
Bye. Great, man. Nice to talk to him. That's Eric, a guy who is apparently with a course in Blender and ZBrush. He's sculpting character for movies. Great guy. It was lovely to speak with him. That's why I did this stream. By no means I am a streamer. I am doing it, but I'm just an amateur. very self-critically said that. I just began with it, but that's the purpose why I do this, is because of people like this who eventually came in, and yeah, you will learn a lot from them. This is almost getting there to the end, where finally I'll be able to move on and do on something else of the car, because this has been a bit nerve-wracking to do it. Yeah, that's rather better like that. Oh my, let's wrap it together. And where is the control panel? Yeah, there it is. I'll need to move this back to taking screenshots of or filming the entire screen instead. If there is anyone else on the chat, feel free to ask any question. If you have any interest in 3D modeling, in any software, if you work in any, I'll be happy to chat with you guys. That's the purpose of why I'm doing the streaming. So and yesterday, for example, I was switching to Serbian, then Macedonian languages, and so on, because of the friends who were following me. We talked in that languages, but yeah, today and from this point onwards, it will be all in English. So I guess anyone can then understand. Go figure with this, right? Which is which? So that not. Where it is? Okay, that's it. No, that's good. Cannot wait for the texturing of the engine itself. It would be great. It'll be lovely. What Max Verstappen would say, simply lovely. If anyone is into F1, we can talk about that as well. Never missed a goddamn race for 30 years now. Lex creates, yeah man. Texturing is definitely the most fun part. When you do so much modeling, as much as I've done, it becomes how to say, boring, but it's not the right word. It's always satisfactory when you do some great model. But as of recently, I began doing also into texturing with Substance Painter, which for some reason I never needed to do before. What due to the projects I had, and after all, I've been working on over 160 projects in the past 7 years as freelancer, so I did not have much of the time to also do or focus on myself to learn Substance Painter to that level where I would be able to comfortably do anything on my own. So, like Eric said, I'm not now trying, to find excuses, but that's honestly the reason why. But now, those things are about to change, or were about to change. So, as part of the M3DS Academy, which is online, I began a bit more into Substance Painter to understand it just a little bit more, where it will be giving me some confidence in doing some texturing. And with that being said, and with that being accomplished for now, I just cannot wait for the texturing to come. All the things that you can do in Substance Painter are just awesome. That's interesting and completely new to me. Yeah, absolutely, man. I always joke with friends. I mean, one of them would say, okay, there is a different way on how you can do this, and so on and so on. And I always say, because it's just the fact that as a as a rule of thumb, like 3 ways that you can do about anything in any software in regards to 3D. So texturing with nodes. I suppose you're talking about Substance Designer, which is a great software to have knowledge in, but I'm clueless about it. I've never tried it. I know people who have, and yeah, the things you can do with it, it's amazing software. Please let me know if I'm correct, if that's the software you had in mind. But I think it should be that one. I cannot recall any other software which can do that. This can be, but no, this is going to be used for welding, so I'm not going to connect them. In that sense, I can just attach material to it later on in Substance Painter. The hour is 6:30 right now. I'll have to go in an hour, so I'm not sure whether I'll come to that point where I'll be texturing those parts, but in any case, if not now, it will be later on probably in the day, or tomorrow, because quite honestly guys, I go in bed thinking about the model and I wake up thinking about the model, so I'm going flat out here to finish this model as soon as possible, because I have like 7 other models that I have to do, and other jobs, projects that I have to start with this week, so it's going to be a hell of a busy week, but nothing to complain about when you love what you do. Plexcrate says, no, Substance Designer is differently again. I texture things exactly like in Substance Painter, just with nodes inside of Cinema 4D. That's awesome, man. That's completely new thing for me. I've never heard such thing. Never used Cinema 4D, so as a result, probably I have no clue how that's done, but that sounds impressive. I would really love to see such thing. If you ever do streaming on that, I will gladly be part of that to see how you do that. That must be interesting to see. Okay, so that part of the engine is done. Let's see the UV. No, please no. Please pick it up. Please pick it up. For some reason, sometimes it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work, this plugin, and it kills me. Like, I have to, 3rd time now, I have to do it. This pisses me off now. I'll just save it and restart it again, because there might be some issues with the history of the model itself. So I'll just reopen the scene. Come on. Yeah. At least it's just a small part, and it will be going quickly. This time it should work. Yeah, definitely, man. Like I said, feel free to join in anytime, and I saw you that you're already part of the group, so you're welcome. Nice of you to join. We are a bunch of people over there hanging out daily, talking about 3D and other stuff. So yeah, just a small group, honestly. There is no, it's not crowded by any means. And now, before I go deeper with this model, I'll just try and send these in to Maya and see if this works if this works now, because I'm fed up with doing this for the 3rd time, and this Windows screen capturing, whatever it is called, it's giving me some issues. Okay, and shortcut for still not working. What? no clue what has happened. The model is for some reason the engine. There's something about the history of it. It shouldn't be anything serious, but it held me up for an hour now, which is waste basically. By now I should have finished it, even with texturing probably. It's 15 minutes to 7, point to which I was hoping to finish it. Sadly, I won't be able, and definitely as a result, I will definitely have to go. Can you hear me? Because I'm getting some issues on my end here. Okay, it's resolved now. Well, what happens is usually it's one of the pros cons. It's one of the cons of the model. You see, there is this name merging and issues which can overlap with the mesh itself. So this plugin in here that I'm using for UVMapping works with it in a way. It's related to it. So once I make the UV map and I'm trying to send it back to the model, it won't be registered because of that. I'm not like, I won't pretend that I know exactly what happens, but it's something like in that sense. So as a result, it won't work. And right now I'll just try one more time, and I really hope it works, because if it doesn't, I'll just have to go another time, because I already wasted like an hour trying to do it, and I have to go in like 15 minutes. So yeah, I'll give it one more time. Okay, so to be efficient this time, I'll just go edit, turn on the symmetry finder, find, and do this, which means whatever I do on this side will be automatically implemented on the other side of the model, which I'm about to show you right now in a second. Just to take these out, you see it's on the other side as well, so I can take both sides just like that, and then do that. It's quite fun doing this, honestly, even for a third time now, and it's a point where, despite all your most sincere efforts on doing a great model and so on, it's when you start the UV process, doing the UV, it's when you realize where you have done a good job in terms of geometry, or whether you haven't. So in that sense, it's yeah, man. I mean, the issue with Maya is the whatever you do in the model here, it's logged as part of as a history. So if it's not cleaned frequently, no matter how strong your PC is, the workflow in the model in the viewport itself, it's going to be quite slow. Every action you do, whether it's vertex merging and anything, it's going to be really slow as a result. So you have to clean the history all the time by I have these shortcuts, but they can be found here. In edit, delete by type, history, non-deformer history, and delete all by type history and non-deformer history. So this history that's been stored in here is cleaned up, so your software can run well and smooth. So sometimes, as a result, because of that, some mesh might not work. I have no way of explaining it how or why and so on, but it's related to that. So I wish someone comes in who's much more experienced and probably knows all the details about Maya and can tell me, dude, don't do this and that, and you'll never have an issue. I'll do it. I'll do it. But it happens. It's part of the workflow in Maya that one has to be mindful of. There is no such thing, I'm told, in Blender, but then again, I'd say, you get to know to work with, so to say, the toughest method where you don't have much plugins, or at least I don't. So anyway, where it is, I'll just try definitely to be trying to be quicker, but not effective as of now. Okay, that opened. This one as well. These quickly, I'm pressing R, so the quads of meshes that are, these lines, see, they can be opened like flat, like that. For example, if I press R on that, you see it's completely different because it has a lot of different meshes, and it's fun. You see how fun it is. You press R and they're like, standing up or flatten. It's quite fun. This can be done with different way because it doesn't have equal geometry as such with quads. These two, these and these. Come on, just a little bit more. Oh my god, my thumb is killing me. Pressing all the time Alt and holding on to it. I mean, much time spent in UVLayout today. Okay. Yeah, let's see if this works. I hope they do, and later on I can focus on the rest. What now? It's like it's just not meant to be, be done today. This has to be done like very easy. I don't know what's taking time to calculate right now. Hold space to stop, I don't need it to stop. Okay, so what's left from the car? Basically, the head of the engine, which is this, is going to come out nicely. I'm done with textures and everything. Then the rest of the engine. Then the car frame. This doesn't make sense much, but in here, and this being a different panel, I'll just move it like that. It's not interfering with anything else. Is packed, so let's see whether it will transfer the model or not. Moment of truth. Please do. Finally. Okay, so let's go these pieces as well, and we're done. So I'll just put this so people can know that the stream is ending. It's not going to be more than probably 5 minutes. Today I saw the most people coming on the channel since I started streaming 5 days ago, which were 8 at a time, which is wow, a lot. So yeah, feel free to come anytime if you have any questions in regards to 3D that you believe I can help with. Feel free to ask. I'm very much happy to talk about the subject, or rather just to hang out, you know. It's going to be completely fine. Very lovely of Eric that he joined today. It was a great chat. So please flip it like that through a simple command. It's quite easy how this software works. Okay, where did that go? Okay, there it is. Both of them. This one as well. What else we can connect? Not that, definitely. So yeah, if anyone interested, for those interested in seeing this till the end, tomorrow continuing with streaming, and probably even tonight in like 5 hours probably from now, but not sure, so won't promise that, but definitely tomorrow. If anyone wants, you're welcome. Yeah, that's nice. That's very tight but nice. Look at it. That's right. So, ooh, so we can connect both of them. Actually, no. Where did it go? To what connects? Oh, this. No, don't need that. Okay, let's do this. These I will need them to be in like separate box. So when the UV layout is creating the layout itself of the UVs that we just took, it will bunch them up together, and later on it will be easier for us to find them. So we just do this, move them over, circles on other part, on other side, everything that's quite vertical like that, and probably this one too. Yes, indeed. Just like that. Come on. Yeah. done this 3 times now. I almost know in mind, no, automatically where which goes where. Okay, don't much. That I will need to get to its place. Where it is? Okay, here. That's okay. So these one box, these another box, these probably altogether different. These can be two, and for the sake of the welding being done right, these have to be pointing like in vertical lines. So when I'm doing the welding, the weld texture is going to be, you know, in right direction. So okay, almost at the finish line. There you go. Once more, just to. Okay, why is that now? What's happening? I want you like that. In any case, let's yeah, let's buckle. Okay, awesome. For some reason, somewhere going outside the borders, but we will anyway reconfigure them into Maya, so that's no issue. Main issue was to get them right, opened up UVMaps, so I send them into Maya, and in here later on I can, yeah, there it is. So no, not that. Sometimes it works weird. That's fine. So there you go. And now all you have to do is select those. No. Like that. Tools, show, transform, flip, or flip this. So yeah, there they are. I'll just okay. So much want for this to be put into Substance Painter now, so to see how it will come up. But yeah, next time. I will have to go now, and I hope you enjoyed the workflow. See ya later on, tomorrow or later.